Welcome back. All right, so in the first video, we had our first HTML folder and we created our first HTML file. And I said that next video, I'll be talking about the skeleton, HTML skeleton. Yeah. So you should understand that we write our HTML in a standard skeleton. There is a standard way to which we write our HTML. But then before we go into that, I would like you to just be aware of the Mozilla Developer Network. MDN for short, Mozilla Developer Network. It's a site for developers where everything in all through this course, I might refer to it as the docs. Everything you probably need, to maybe you've forgotten something. Because like I said, it's a big course. You can't always put everything in your head at once. So it's always advisable as a developer to have access to this and consult it at when necessary, when you probably forgot something and you want to remember one or two things. Everything about you know all languages, both from HTML to CSS to JavaScript, HTTP, web APIs, they are all here. You can always so in this ways now the site is developer.mozilla.org. That's the site. I'm going to drop the link to this site right after this video. So you get here, this is the home page, beautiful background. You can search for anything you want here, but let's streamline our search. Let's go into HTML page. So once I click HTML page, it brings almost virtually everything that you probably can think of learning in HTML. And like I said in one of the first videos in this course, no single lecturer, no single, tutor can actually teach you everything about any language. Nobody can singularly teach you everything about HTML. Nobody will singularly teach you about everything about CSS. Every tutor will probably or every academy will probably just teach you as much as they deem necessary. There are quite a number of things that might not be so necessary, honestly. And there are some of them that you just don't have to bother yourself about every of them. So I'll teach you about if like the very important ones. So when you come here, you can now search if you like. You can search for whatever it is you like. So there are quite a number of elements, things that we're going to learn, but you just should be aware of this. Beyond what I'm going to teach you, you can choose on your own to want to read further, learn further, even beyond what I teach you in this course. So always learn to come here. In fact, every developer actually consults the doc at one time or the other, just for everything, not only in HTML, later on CSS, JavaScript, everything is there. Now the question is, are they the ones that created HTML or CSS? No, they aren't the one. But it's just like a learning platform where you have access to every resource that you need as a developer. So that is that for that. Now back to our HTML skeleton. This is the first thing you write in your HTML page. And then whether you're using a phone to code or you're using a PC to code, the first thing you write is. Now, if you notice, every of these elements have an opening tag and a closing tag. Some of them has this less than and greater than, while some of them has double of it. The first thing you write here is the doc type HTML. So we're going to write that. Do that. Should I call it less than symbol, and then this what is like an exclamation mark. Doc type. Okay, not always a capital letter. There's a shortcut for this. So I've never really had to type this by myself. Trust me, I've never had to type this by myself. I will teach you the shortcut right after now. It's just quite, too bulky for me to put on my head. All right, doc type HTML. I put my greater than to close that. And then in the next line, I now put the HTML tag. We call these things tag. Now, if you notice while writing, VS Code will pop out options for you. So I close it. I have my HTML tag. Automatically, it gives me this other one. Let me do that again for you to see. I only type the first part. When I type the greater than, it completes it for me. That is, it has an opening tag and a closing tag. I press enter. to keep it to the next page. Now inside the HTML file, the next thing we're going to be having is our head elements. Our head elements. Inside the head elements, we have a lot of things that we had there: the title, links, and all of that. You'll learn more about the links when we deal with CSS. But for this course, it's just HTML. So we're going to be having our head elements. I close it with the greater than symbol. VS Code automatically completes it for me. Now, if you are using a phone, maybe you're using TrebeEdit, all of these functionalities does not exist. You have to type every of them by yourself. So I'm taking my time to type it one after the other so that in case you're using a phone, you would understand the setup. For VS Code, there's a shortcut to do all these things I'm actually doing right now, which I'm still going to do. But I just want you to understand. Then inside the head elements now, we're going to have a title element. What the title element does is to give a title to the page. So you can give this page HTML practice. That's the name of this page. Now with this title element is nested. That's the word, we call it nesting. We nested it inside this head element. Now, since we're done with that, after the head element, I press enter to come to the next line of my VS Code. The next thing I'm going to be putting, I'm going to be writing is my body. After the head element, we have the body element. So you write your body tag, less than symbol. Once you start typing body itself, you see autocomplete is there. Greater than symbol, I have the closing tag already. Enter. In the head element, there are quite a few things we write inside of it. Meta tags, title tag, which you've already written, and also our link when you want to link to an external style sheet, such as CSS style sheet. Those are the things we write in our head. Now in the body element, the body is what contains most of the things, if not most, everything you're going to see on your web page. Everything will be written inside the body tag. There are three things. You divide your body tag into three things. The first one is called header. Now it's very easy to mistake header for head. Don't mistake it. The head element is different. Inside the body, you have header. Now, in case you're wondering what do we write inside header, inside the header you have things such as your nav bar. Let me show you an example of a site. For instance, this News Today site that I opened for us initially. Okay, come on, load up. All right, here we are. So I'm sure you get to see this a lot in different sites. I mean, almost everywhere. Almost every site has a nav bar where you can click links and takes you to different pages. Every of this nav bar, all of these things is always written are the things we write inside the header element. Header elements, this whole nav bar are the things you write. You have your logo. You can have a logo, just like this kind of logo. You can have a logo here. You can have the name of your site. You can have all of these links. You have a search bar. You can have these buttons. Every of these things are nested inside the header element. But for this video, we'll not be doing we'll not be writing any nav bars. Now, that's the first thing you'd write in your body. The next thing is called main. That is the main content of your page. Every of the main content of this page will be nested inside the body. So from here, this place, for instance, let me refresh the page again. From this part downwards, up until here, this is the main page. So everything you want to write in the page is nested inside the main element. Now, finally, I'm sure you also see this in sites. At the bottom of every site, there is something like this. You still have some links you can click. I have I have some other social media icons here. I have a copyright, one voice tag. If I click this link, it takes me to another page as it is. We'll learn all about anchor tags later on. So this is called footer. About every page actually has the footer. Almost every page you would ever see has a footer and has an header element. Let me scroll down to this one. In this case, for this side, this is the header element. You can see they have all of these links that takes you to other pages. Theirs is not colored like mine. So theirs might not be looking like mine because they probably chose to keep it looking very simple. They didn't add any beautiful colors. If you scroll down now, every other part of this page from here downwards, they are nested in the main. These are the main contents. You nest them inside the main page. Let's see. Now, this is their footer. Can you see the footer? They have their social media All of these links are also there, and this whole thing. So every page you design should have this setup: the header, the main, and the footer. Can you see that? So the footer has its design, the header has its own designs, but the main carries the main content. I press tab to shift it to the front. I press tab again if I want it to go further, but it's okay like this. So anything I want to write here now, I can write it inside the main element, and whatever you write inside the main element gets reflected in the page. Now the question is, whatever you're writing, how do you get to see it? Like this one that I did, that I showed us while I was writing, I was viewing it. Is it looking good? Is the color okay? This picture, is the size okay? Let me adjust it. You need to always be able to view your code, what you are writing, to see it if it's looking perfect. Your design, for instance, the space, is the space okay? Are they together? This color now, all of these effects, while you are writing the code, you need to always look at it in a visible form. And I'll be showing us how to do that in the next video.